Welcome back, beautiful people, to the Three Amigos podcast. Surprise, we're doing a video. Holy shit. This is weird. This is new. Yes, we've decided to embrace our beautiful amigos, our beautiful brothers here, and we've decided to bless you with us, our faces, our beautiful Latino and minority faces. Yes, the Three Amigos are back, 3 for 3, and today we are here to talk about wrestling. We're back with wrestling. Last night just showed what a product just driven by Triple H, Hunter, and all his team could do. Some questionable booking decisions. It wasn't perfect, but still, it's so much better than what we were getting before, and it makes me very, very fucking happy. Let's jump into it, guys. What'd you think of Clash at the Castle?
My initial thoughts were that it was awesome. I just love that we're getting wrestlers being allowed to wrestle again. There were a few matches that I thought if Vince was in charge, they would not have gone more than like 5 minutes. There also probably would have been like 15 matches on this card if he was in charge. Yeah, I thought it was incredible. Gunther versus Sheamus is like maybe my match of the year. I'm gonna have to like go back and check some of the other ones that I've watched, because there have been some insane matches. But
yeah,
from WWE, this might easily become the match of the year. Although Trips is in charge, is like 4 months left. Yeah, it was a great show though. Like my initial thoughts on the show was like that was awesome. Not too long of a card. I can't fucking do these like 5-hour shows. Like WrestleMania drives me crazy. Yeah, it was awesome. How about you, Anthony?
It was interesting because I couldn't focus on it 100% because I was doing grocery shopping and I was driving, so I had it playing. I was listening to it. I was glancing at it periodically, but I'm excited to be watching wrestling again. My personal problem is I don't watch the weekday shows, so I miss all the build up to these different rivalries and feuds. Riddle and I can't remember. I don't know his
Seth
name.
Rollins. All right, you're
Seth
not going to be
Rollins.
on the next time. You're going to be off the podcast.
Yeah, I don't think
I've never liked Rollins, but I didn't know about the whole build up for their rivalry. But what's funny is when he told him there's only one man in your relationship, and that's Becky. Like that's some cold
Great promo. Great promo.
Great promo. But then he countered with that by telling him, "Well, yeah, you don't have a family."
By literally bringing up the truth.
Like your wife's divorced and all that.
Right.
Yeah, and I know they mentioned Seth was had interest in going for Roman Reigns for the championship, and I think Riddle also had interest at one point. So I enjoyed what I saw, like the Mysterio and Edge versus Judgment Day. That was pretty interesting. I don't know how I feel about the Dominic turning on Ray. That I don't know if they're gonna make him heel for a bit. I don't really like that. I missed the women's matches, unfortunately. And I'm a bit upset with the outcome of the Roman Reigns match, but we'll get into that a bit later.
Good.
Or you want to get into? I can get to it now if you want to get into it now.
I thought we should kind of work backwards, because if I was a viewer, I would probably want to start with like the biggest match from the show, which was obviously the main event in terms of like spectacle. You could go first as someone who missed the entire build up to this. They've been doing like 3 months of Drew and Roman, but so you were mad. You did not like. Did this trigger both of you? I feel like there's like different like camps here. It's like there's a coalition of people who just want Roman to lose to anyone because they're tired of it. There's people who wanted Drew to win because he's awesome. I think there's a lot of people who are very sad about what happened in this match.
Sure. So, Andy, are you done with your point, or?
I don't understand the hype behind Roman Reigns other than he's related to The Rock, because I actually this in the chat. You said it. I guess you said it's a gimmick where he needs his family to help him win every time. Brock, what was the last one? The last pay-per-view against Brock Lesnar? That was
SummerSlam.
Was that SummerSlam?
Yeah,
The Usos came out and helped him. Before that, I think he fought Brock previously. Before that, Usos came out. Whoever this other guy is, I think he's from NXT, right?
Yeah,
another family. So it's like you had the home field advantage for Drew, and wasn't he the only, like the first Scottish wrestler?
He's won it. He was the first Scottish wrestler. And he's also the first Scottish wrestler and European-born world champion.
He should have won. I don't know his McIntyre's career the way you guys might know it, but I don't think Roman is all that, hype. I think his Superman punch is lame. It's like a lame finisher. I think it's kind of stupid. And I'm tired of Roman. Like when Randy Orton was champion back around like WrestleMania 24 and whatever back then,
Sure.
and he was like champion for like a long time.
Yeah.
It was at least Randy Orton. You wouldn't be upset with it. It's Randy fucking Orton. But like
You missed the last 2 years of Roman Reigns, though.
Yeah,
Like,
you did. You can't. It's hard to
dude,
say.
they
So.
had been building so many different stories. Like the reaction I had from this match and the reason I think some people are probably mad is like there's new management. So I think that Triple H is now trying to tell his version of the Bloodline story, which unfortunately, after about 6 months of Vince booking it, just turned into like the same, Roman wins, LOL, Usos interfere. Like there was the whole thing with Jey Uso trying to win the title from him in the Hell in a Cell, and then
Which
he
was a
joined
great
the Bloodline.
match.
There was so much stuff that happened, and then it kind of fell into this like because Vince,
He's
just
an
doesn't know
idiot.
what
He
he's
stopped.
doing.
He stopped being a genius a long time ago. That's a
Yeah,
hot take
so
for me.
I think now we're kind of at a place where Triple H is trying to book his version of the Bloodline, which has been going on for a long time.
I thought like just do it. Why not? Like I guess the in a way that's the casual in me, or not even. I don't even know what to call it. Like you see it. Like the near falls. The place was ready to erupt. It was NXT, but in the UK in a sold out fucking stadium. Like
Yeah.
this was the dreams of like what you want for your future NXT stars, and essentially they are kind of NXT stars, except for Drew when he came back. I guess he is technically a former NXT star,
He had a
but
decent run.
he came up first like directly. Vince McMahon handpicked him, and I love that they kept bringing back that story of him in the past and then being let go. Like it's really raw, it's really good. Like they were telling a great story just on promos alone for the casual viewer who didn't know, and someone who maybe who was invited to go watch this show or to go to the bar to go watch this show with a friend, and you're like, damn, this guy should win. This guy, like, I'm convinced this guy should win. Oh my god, he's gonna win, and he doesn't win. You're pretty angry. I'm not angry. I'm just like, why not just pull the trigger? Like, what's holding you back? And you make a great point, Chris. Like, Triple H is telling his story of the Bloodline. Respect it. He likes it. Clearly, he likes it, or he would have dismantled it as soon as he took over. He did it.
Immediately.
Immediately. You make a great point. I'm here for it. I guess I'm indifferent. I let it settle, but overall, I'm leaning more towards that. You should have just pulled the trigger on it, and then you could have still kept that Bloodline feud. But then, like, I know, then it becomes like maybe they hot potato back the title, and then that doesn't look good, or like, I don't know. It's a tough booking decision. I think in the end, it's probably gonna work out. I trust Triple H. I don't trust Vince McMahon. It's Triple H. I don't trust anyone else to book this Bloodline match because it reignited a new flame. It was getting stagnant. It was getting boring. Videos were like coming out. The Wrestle Talk boys, Pete made a great video about like why this isn't working anymore. And it's right. Like, some places sometimes some stories have an expiration date. This had an expiration date, but it has a new one now because it got repackaged, freshly, reserved, new member. That's good, but that that might get people nervous. Like, well, like how much longer do we have to deal with Roman and the Bloodline? Well, Survivor Series is coming up. We'll see, and then that'll definitely be a tell.
Yeah, I had a theory about this because Roman, the way he played it based on his facial expressions, he did not know that this third Uso brother, who's not technically an Uso, but like sort of is, he did not know. This is my theory that Solo was there.
Yeah.
They've been telling this story for the last few months of Sami Zayn trying to become like the third Uso brother.
Yeah.
So in my head, because with Triple H, like at the very least, he's already thinking like 3 months ahead, like where are we going with this? My theory is that I think it's Jay who's like getting jealous of Sami Zayn, who's like trying to weasel his way in. I think Jay recruited Solo
maybe
to push Sammy out of the group, and then eventually at Survivor Series they do like a Drew, Kevin, Sammy, Braun versus the full Bloodline army, whatever.
Or the Rock, or they get the Rock.
Well, the only reason I would never, just in my opinion, I would literally never book Roman versus the Rock at least when Roman's champion, is because if he beats The Rock, then who beats him for the title?
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
The
that
Rock
was a
is
Vince
like
McMahon thing. That was more Vinnie Mac thing.
yeah,
That
that's like
wasn't
the
anyone
final
else.
boss. Like, if you beat The Rock, like, you can't have anyone lower than The Rock beat Roman because it just doesn't
Like
make sense.
maybe John Cena, maybe, but probably
No, he's
not.
He
already
already beat
beaten
John
John.
Cena like multiple
Get a
times,
comeback.
actually. Yeah.
Speaking of theories, how many times has Austin Theory failed at cashing in his Money in the Bank?
I think that's 3 times, twice now. Which
think
that
it's
one,
twice.
that's getting a little bit too much too, a little bit questionable. That's gonna start like fueling the keyboard warriors, like
Yeah.
saying like Vince.
Under new management, bro. You like,
Yeah,
I think this is tough for a lot of people, but like, you have to almost, because Vince would do this shit all the time. You have to almost ignore what was going on before Triple H took over.
yeah,
Because like, if you're looking at the timeline of these like feuds and angles as like, Austin Theory being like booked to the moon for the last like, I don't know, 8
year.
months. Like, Triple H has only been in charge for a couple of months, and like, there's like a definitive line of like where his ideas have started and where Vince's ideas ended. And it just doesn't feel fair. Like, if you want to, you can totally go back and be like, this has been going on for too long. Like, this is getting stale. But at the same time, it was a totally different person booking those angles.
Yeah,
I love how mad people are
yeah,
about Drew not winning because I want him to win. I was like baited so hard.
yeah,
There were a couple of near falls that I was like, so like, I thought he won or he lost, and both times ended in a kick out. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't felt like that in so long. I really felt the way I did when Frankie and I watched Johnny Gargano versus Andrade at NXT TakeOver. And that was the first time I remember seeing a match where I was like, I don't know who's booked to win, but if it's not Johnny, change it right now. And like, I was like, if
yeah.
Drew is not booked to win this match, change it to Drew in the middle of the match. Like, get the ref, whisper to Roman, Drew's going over. We changed our minds. Everybody's fucking hot for this.
Yeah,
I was sad that he lost.
yeah,
I was like, damn, this felt like it. But I wasn't mad because the angle was different. It wasn't Jimmy and Jay running
yeah.
down to the ring, like distracting the ref, tossing a chair. Like, it was a different member who had never been associated with the group before, never been to the main
Yeah,
roster.
yeah,
And it's the first time I can remember being interested in where the bloodline stuff is going,
yeah,
because I love the new Roman Reigns character, but like, it was definitely getting kind of stale, like, especially because he seemed to only face Brock Lesnar, or like they had said for a while, there was never a threat. Like,
yeah.
this really felt like the first time like he's gonna lose. Like, I was convinced going into this show, like, he's going to lose. They gave Drew like this crazy entrance with his old theme, and he's bringing the fucking sword down to the ring, and like, I was so convinced.
Yeah.
And so like, a part of me missed that feeling of like being so convinced of an outcome. It was like when Undertaker lost at WrestleMania. I was like, I can't believe I was wrong. Like, I can't believe the fucking guy booking the show baited me into, like, he actually convinced me that Drew was going to win, which to me is just evidence of how well the match was booked.
And how well that, he just let them do what they needed to do. Whereas like if you don't know, Ant, there's a list of things you can't do. And there's also a list of moves and ways that you can only work. And that's the Vinnie Mac way. So this was just the Triple H way, which is kind of like just wrestle and say the word wrestle. You can don't entertain. You're wrestling and entertaining at the same time. Look at that. You could do both at the fucking same time.
I forgot which announcer said it, where Paul Heyman wasn't around, and I was like, okay, he needs Paul Heyman minimum to be there to win. Paul Heyman's not there to like, do his bullshit. Paul Heyman is good at bullshitting and shit talking. I was like, okay, Drew's gonna win. He's home field advantage. No Paul Heyman, no Usos, and then like I said, I don't know anything about Drew McIntyre, but I was like, this guy needs to win.
That's why it was so great though, because I remember like when Drew got such a crazy entrance. Like, there were rumors that they were going to bring back the old theme song in some way. I'm sure it costs a lot of money, because if you go to that artist now, they're probably like it's gonna cost more than it did 15 years ago when he was
Right.
like a total nobody. And that entrance alone convinced me that like, oh, this is the guy. Like they're not
Mhm.
spending all this money and like giving him this crazy like
Right.
entrance to the ring and all that. Like
And I think
just
they said they haven't been in the area in like 30 years or something like that. So it's like,
really
Yeah.
hello, like, and
Yeah.
I'm the most casual out of the three of us in terms of wrestling, and even I'm here like what the fuck?
Well, it was funny because after Drew's entrance, which felt like basically like just give him the title now, like everybody's so like, oh, this guy is so over. And then Roman came out and he had no Paul Heyman, no Usos, because I guess the angles that they got taken out on Friday, it felt so not special. Like he
Mhm.
was just like walking out there holding both titles. Usually Paul Heyman's holding one of them. The Usos have like the tag belts, like they're all
Right.
blinged out with the tag belts. And I was just like, damn, kind of feels like they're giving him like a champions version of like a jobber entrance right now. Like he doesn't feel like fucking like the, I mean, I guess the king of kings, like top dog in the company. He just feels kind of, yeah, I got both titles. I'm like holding one of them and I'm wearing one of them. And I was like, I don't know, man. This kind of looks like he's on his way out. And I remember watching him enter and I was like, damn, if this guy's losing the match, he's doing a really good job of acting like he's still in charge. Like I was just very impressed with how heavily like me and apparently everyone else on the internet and in the stadium thought they knew what was going to happen.
Mhm.
And sometimes in that position, Vince would do like a swerve just for the sake of swerving people, like for literally with no plan. And like, at least with this, there's clearly a plan because they didn't book the ending the way they usually do. They added just enough where I'm like, I kind of want to see what happens on Friday now. Like, I want to see
Yeah.
what's next. Even though, I'm nervous that Roman's like going to disappear for another 3 months. And the no won't have any championships on TV. But I thought this main
Yeah.
event was fucking awesome.
Main event was top tier. One of the better main events that's happened in 2022. I don't think anything else compares. Honestly,
Certainly from
just
WWE. Like,
especially from WWE and
Yeah.
what they've been able to put out. It hasn't been good because of Vince and the way his booking style has and his mind. Remember, it's his. He's the one that gave the green light. Now it's Hunter and his team. Essentially, it's going to be just be Hunter. It's going to be Triple H saying yes, do this.
yeah.
And it is what it is, what it's been done. But like, there's still good to come out of this. There's like you made a great point with Roman's cousin, and Jay potentially or someone recruiting him. My thought was maybe it was Sammy trying to like, hey, like I called him up. I still have a connection to
Ooh,
NXT.
that's
You know,
good. I like
like
that.
I called. I go to NXT all the time. I know I'm friends with the guys. I call them up and say, hey, fly this guy out to help you, Roman, to help you.
He's trying. Oh, and then maybe he's pushing Jay out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I gotta watch on Friday now. I need
Damn, I
answers.
might
I
gotta
haven't
watch.
felt like that in a while, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot to be thankful for in a way, like just like
Yeah.
and excited. There's a lot of excitement. I know people are bitter and be bitter, but
Yeah.
I think hopefully if you're if you're logical in a way, or just like no, don't be too much in your emotions. Just have fun with the
Yeah.
ride because you're getting good wrestling. Finally, good
Yeah.
fucking wrestling. This wouldn't have been a good story, like we've all agreed on, if it was still Vinnie Mac in charge. And I know that's gonna get tiring for a lot of people real soon, but I don't give a shit. Like tell me when like how many grid matches he's been able to produce, whereas compared to any other company has been able to produce bangers of a matches, especially in New Japan, especially in AEW. Like you
Black and
guys
gold
were laughing.
NXT, like
Even in
literally.
NXT, all
Yeah.
of the NXT from 2015 up until they lost the Wednesday Wars, which yes, they did lose. Let's face it, they lost, but also because Vinnie Mac was trying to give his input in, and that's what happened. That's why they lost. It's because he got too involved in that.
Just wanted to say one more thing to calm everybody down about this Drew McIntyre losing. Is that when we would watch NXT, Triple H is not going to get every single booking decision correct.
Right.
And I'm sure there's going to be some angles that he's more invested on because now he's overseeing 3 brands essentially instead of just when it was just NXT. But I will say the one area that he usually would get right, except for the only one I can think of recently, was the Aleister Black NXT title run.
Yeah, that was
was most of the time he nails the heavyweight championship feuds. Most of the time, those are always great. They're always bangers. He's always got some idea that maybe we did. Like I remember when Andrade won the NXT title and we were like, who?
What?
And then he ended up becoming like one of my favorite NXT champions. Then when he lost, I was like, fuck, man, he was so good. I think that maybe, like with any booking, not everyone's going to agree on the direction it goes, but I don't think it's like the out of touch direction that Vince would do. Like Triple H definitely hears the people saying, it's been a long time, man. Roman wins all these matches. He always needs his cousin. Like he hears that. Vince would just be like, I don't fucking care. Like I own the whole company. I'm gonna do whatever I want. Like I don't care about the fans. Like Triple H is not the same. So I do think like wherever this is headed, it's going to make sense. But we can move on to the rest of the card.
So let's actually talk about the one. I think your favorite matches. I think because like as good as this show was, I agree that like either you're gonna have it was only 6 matches. You're either gonna like all of this or none of this, or you're the more sensible type. You might like a variety of them. 3 out of the 6, 4 out of the 6, 5 out of the 6. But which ones were your guys' favorite match? Because I'll be honest, like I think I already said it. I only watched like the 3 that I knew I needed to watch, which was Sheamus, Matt Riddle, which of course that one was scathing, and then the main event. I watched the main event from its entirety, start to finish, amazing.
But, me, I was always a really big Edge fan, so of course I was
that's
gonna
right.
watch.
See, I didn't care.
And I love, and I have love and respect for Mysterio.
Thanks, man.
And so like when you were messaging me everything going on, I was like, wait, today's Saturday, and I was like, oh shit, the pay-per-view is today, and I forgot they do it like no longer on Sundays, and I think like Saturday afternoons
they alternate.
now.
They alternate.
It's a little inconsistent right now.
So I had my shopping cart, and I had like my phone on my groceries, watching it, pushing through the Walmart, and because you were like, oh, Edge has a luchador mask on, and I went to YouTube like, what is he talking about? And he's like, oh, Edge of the 619. I'm like,
that was
what the fuck
fucking
are you talking
awesome.
about? And I was like, oh wait. So I went and looked at it, and I sent you the footage where I put the 619 in 2K for Edge, and I made a mask, and I had to of course beat up Dominic Mysterio in the game because
obviously.
So I understand the idea of Dominic is salty because Ray chose Edge and not him, but it's like, dude, just, come on, like, because I don't want to see a storyline where he joins Judgment Day, especially after the ass whooping he got from Rhea those few times.
That's why he wants to join. He wants more of those ass whoopings.
True.
That's the strategy.
Yeah. I've always when I first started watching Rhea wrestling, this is like after she was in NXT, so I missed her NXT days, but I was like, this is a badass woman. Like, I want to watch more of her. But cool match. Seeing Edge do a 619 is it's not as funny as John Cena doing a Hurricanrana.
So weird. I hate that
it's so weird he does that because his physique is so weird when he does it.
Yeah,
but
it's fucking jorts. It just all just looks strange.
So Edge doing the 619 was pretty cool. I mean, that's one of the best highlights for me because it seems like a very complex thing to do. And Edge is not a small guy; he's a big dude.
Not the most agile.
Yeah. And I always love Edge's entrance. Very energetic, running out. And it was just a really great match. I like the attire he was wearing. The match itself. I have my things against Finn Balor from the games primarily because I could never beat him in the games. But I still respect the guy for what he can do, and it was just a great match. And of course, Rey Mysterio. That's
the ageless wonder,
bro. That clothesline that Dominic, that was one of the stiffest. There was like some childhood anger. There was like, this is for the Eddie Guerrero feud that you put me through when I was a kid. It took his head off.
Everyone's been talking about it, like that was stiff. But it was great. It sold it great.
Dude, I remember reading Chris Jericho's, I think it was like Lionheart, like this book he wrote like 20 years ago. Yeah. And he was talking about wrestling school and like when they teach you how to take a clothesline, and it's like you're supposed to start to fall back as the guy's like almost at your throat. Otherwise, he's literally going to like chop your head off.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, that was not the way that you're supposed to take a clothesline. That was Ray who was like, he's probably just like, hey, this has to look really violent. So like just fucking just fucking come for me. Like try to chop my head right off my body. Cause that was, I'm gonna be honest, Dominic usually looks like kind of a bitch, but that clothesline was awesome.
Yeah.
Like if that's not his new finisher,
Yes, I was gonna say
clothesline from hell style.
or Rhino Maker.
Yeah, that shit was awesome. Also, we should just quick shout out to Edge, who like when he got kicked in the balls, the like slow motion look he gave to Dominic on his like way down. I was like,
why?
You're
Why,
so
son?
good, dude. You're
Why,
so
son?
good at your job.
Why?
Yeah, it just looked so sad. Like
it's funny because Damien also got his nuts hit on the barricade in that match.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, a lot of dicks got kicked in this one. Also, the finish, I like the match. I thought was like fine. I loved the finish though. It was like the 619 to Finn Balor, and then Edge speared him as he like came out of the after getting hit with the 619. I was like, put that animation in the next.
They should
immediately. That shit looked so clean. Since this was like a bunch of veterans in the match, I was like, I don't know if that was the rehearsed finish or if they just like called that on the spot, but that shit looked so clean. I was like, damn, if you didn't rehearse that, props, man. That spot looked awesome. Did you have a favorite, Frankie, of the ones you saw?
It's gotta be Drew and Roman. I don't like big beefy men going at it unless they're really agile. They did a nice balance of it. You know me, like I'm short, but I grew up watching Lucha Libre and Ray. So I love fast pace, and especially what the Young Bucks even did at some point. Just call it like they memed spot monkeys. Like it's just a spot monkey spot, you know. Like I like that shit. I love 360, 630s, 450s. I think the IC title, once I've fully immersed myself in what I saw and am watching, because I'm still watching it, that it's probably going to be like I might flip flop because I love Walter. We've seen Walter. I've seen Walter more than you have. Those chops are legendary.
You turned me on to Walter. I was like, who's this beautiful, like thick Austrian man? This guy's amazing. And then he just fucking caves in people's chests.
He's an incredible human being and wrestler. He's like that old school style, like foreign heel, and I'm gonna fuck you up with chops. Not punching, not kicking, not with my brawling, chops. I'm gonna psychologically break you down, and then I'm gonna brutalize you after.
I'm not even a big Sheamus fan. I'm not really a Sheamus fan at all, but I do love Walter's consensual violence matches, where it's just both men agree to beat the actual shit out of each other for real.
Yeah.
But Walter's also such a professional that he's just man, he's so good at those matches. And there was that storyline through of like Sheamus has never won the IC title. He's been very vocal about wanting to win that championship, and I was like, I don't think he's gonna win it, but like this is interesting enough because I wasn't that interested in that match,
right?
And man, I have seen Walter versus Ilya, their first match in NXT UK with no crowd, where they just beat the shit out of each other. And that was like one of the most uncomfortable matches I remember watching. And then they did it again. And so by the time I was like, Sheamus is definitely going to want to get the shit beaten out of him because he's crazy. That match was so brutal, and I loved every second of it. It was incredible. Riddle versus Seth was obviously amazing. Also, I just thought it was great that Seth said the same stuff to Riddle in the ring that he did on the promo. He was like, "This is why your wife left you. You're like a fucking loser." Like he said all that in the ring. I was like, beautiful. Just a great show.
Just a great show. But that's all we have now for you beautiful people and this video. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace and enjoy and sub and just keep subbing. Never stop
let
subbing.
Let us know what you think about this new format we're trying. Like, let us know.
Let us know. But peace out. I'll see you later, bros.